is truth in journalism, where brave men and women gave voice to the voiceless. But then the corporations bought the journalist, poisoning the news that we are fed. With those tainted sources, all we ever ate was a steady diet of status quo. This hijacked narrative is the truth of mass suffering, injustice and corruption throughout our land. Status quo, status quo, status quo, status quo. To expose this shift to oligarchy came a band of honest journalists. They left the studio and hit the streets to give the microphone back to the people. From sea to sea, the people were empowered to share their truth. Their voices no longer stifled, reclaimed their power. Join the media revolution now.
Hey there, Jordan Chariton live. It is, what's today? Tuesday, July 21st. I am a little bit later than normal. I wanted to go after President Trump spoke, see if anything newsworthy came out of it. The answer is no. I guess you could say it's newsworthy that he did not tell anybody to sniff hydrochloride or whatever the hell he was telling people to sniff a couple months ago as far as the coronavirus solution. He definitely had a different tone in the press conference he just did, more somber. He did say expect things to get worse before they get better as far as the coronavirus. So obviously his advisors and pollsters got in his head and got in his ear that if he doesn't change his posture and tune lickety-split, he's definitely going to lose. So it's definitely a different Trump. Whether it will have a difference, I don't know. But we got a lot to talk about today. For some reason, maybe this is the latest YouTube shenanigans, it's showing me 2 viewers watching. I don't know if it's showing you all that. I click on it, it says 150 watching, and then it immediately switches to 2 viewers. So, have no idea how many people are actually watching, but hope everyone's having an okay day, staying safe, all that stuff. Before I get to anything, obviously I want to address the really, really tragic passing of progressive commentator Michael Brooks. To be honest with you, I've never spoken with Michael Brooks. I didn't know him. I covered one event that he spoke at. That was a event in New York City, a fundraiser for Shahid Buttar. I think it was earlier this year, maybe. Michael Brooks was kind of the host of that. So never spoken with him, didn't really have any type of relationship. But I've seen some clips over the last 24 hours passing through the internet as people pay tribute. And it's just a terrible thing. I don't know what happened. I don't know what he passed of. But he was 36, which is far, far too young. And, it definitely rings true. I'll be 34 in a couple months. So we were around the same age. And you just, cliche, but you really just don't know. You never know when your time's up. And the clips I saw, he was definitely a really articulate, well-spoken, passionate progressive, and, really spoke about ways to connect progressive movements, not just in America, but around the world. R.I.P. and wish his family and friends, condolences. Progressive media is a small little network, so small little community. So just extremely unfortunate and sad. So that's all I could say. Donald, thanks for the super chat, getting us started. $5. Biden is going to be a one-term swan song to neoliberalism. I don't even know if he's going to make it one term at this point, but we'll get into Biden for sure. Let me see. So press that like button. I believe we have, what do we got? 190 of you are watching right now. 115 have pressed the like button. So please, please, please smash that like button. The more people that press it, the more people that will see this very live stream. Very, very important. Also share this live stream. The more people that press share, that helps. Quick announcement. I will remind you all later, but Thursday night, we will be having our members only call, 7:30 Eastern. Jen and I. Jen will be back on Thursday for the members call. So definitely, if you're a member, you will get the link on Thursday before the call. Again, 7:30 Eastern time, 4:30 Pacific. If you're not a member, here is a great time to become a member for $5 a month. It is how we grow. And we need to grow. It's been a tough time during the COVID pandemic for a lot of people, including us. Currently at 1,735 members, so hopefully we can get some signups today. Sign up for as low as $5 a month again. And also, if you got a text message when we were live today, it's because you are on our text list. So sign up if you want a text message when we go live. It is the way to guarantee that you will know we're live, as opposed to just hoping YouTube notifies you, which I don't think is a great idea. So, before I get to Wall Street banks promising nothing will change under a President Biden and keep those super chats coming, the latest is we got 22, 23, 24, 25. So we got 5 days till the economic cliff. That is the expanded $600 unemployment expiring. We are already seeing people being pushed to housing courts, facing eviction. Trump, in that press conference, made a little bit of news, basically saying that he wants to cut down the unemployment from $600 a week to around $175 to $200 extra a week. Republican vulture Stephen Moore says it would be $200, which would be, quote, a big win for us. This would amount to about $175 a week bonus after taxes. So think about that for a second, right? If this is what it comes down to. If Trump's starting at $200 a week, my guess is Democrats will come back huffing and puffing. We're not budging. Extend the $600 a week. Maybe they'll meet in the middle at $275, $300 a week. So if you've been basically staying above water because of that extra $600 a week, and again, the extra $600 a week is federal unemployment. That's in addition to whatever you're getting from your state unemployment. But remember for example, I interviewed an unemployed single mother in Arizona. Arizona only gives out about $250 a week. So if you're getting a paltry $250 a week in Arizona, and many other states are not that much better in terms of what you're getting from the state. If you're only getting $250, $275, $300 a week from the state, and then you're only getting, for argument's sake, let's say $300 a week from your state, that's $600 a week, but that's without the other. That's basically $600 a week total, combined, when you're combining state and federal. Well, $600 a week, do the math. $600, $1,200, $1,800, $2,400. It's $2,400 a month. If you live in Seattle, if you live in LA, if you live in New York, if you live in DC, if you live in parts of Chicago, maybe that'll cover your rent. And again, I'm just using Arizona as an example. There are a lot of states that the unemployment that they put out, that they're offering just on the state level, is it's crumbs. $250 to $300 a month. So if the $600 extra is going to be shrunk down to $275, $300 a month, basically totaling $600, there's a lot of people that are not going to be able to pay their bills because you have 51 million people that filed for unemployment claims. Every week, we've been getting another 1.3 million to 1.5 million. That ain't changing because the case count keeps increasing. In Texas, in Florida, the hospitals are nearly overrun. In Miami, the hospitals are overrun. Thank you for the super chat, Brian Frederick, $1.99 in the super chat. U.S. House voted down 10% cut to the military budget. I saw. We will cover. Keep those super chats coming. We need you. So, I don't know. You do the math. If your rent, if with unemployment, you're making between $2,000 and $2,400 a month if you're unemployed, is that going to cover your rent? Is that going to cover your health care deductibles if you've lost health care? If you have to go on Obamacare or COBRA, utilities, car payment, student loans. Gillamy LaSalle, North Carolina, only gives $175 a week. It's even worse than Arizona. I mean, you know all the payments. If you got a house, things come up. Your car payments, car insurance. Is $2,400 going to do it? They're also talking about a additional $1,200 check. Let me find it. Oh, I don't have that. So they're talking about an additional $1,200 check. Again, I consider that totally inadequate. Obviously, if your choice is $1,200 or not getting $1,200, you're going to take the $1,200. But the point is, and this, I think Jeff Stein, who's been doing good work on all this at the Washington Post, point is, the other big factor here is how long the benefits are extended for. Sounds like if they only extend it for 2 to 3 months or so, the benefits will be bigger. If they extend it through December, it would presumably be at a lower amount. Well, if you're cutting the unemployment by, at this point, we're saying $300 to $350, where the job market is not picking up, the Republicans, literally as part of the bill, want to give a back-to-work bonus. So essentially dangling a back-to-work bonus off of desperate unemployed workers to rush back to work during a still very, very deadly pandemic. The death count is starting to rise at a more accelerated rate with no vaccine. PJ Maxx, $5. My gripe with Sam Seder is that he let the Democrats off the hook too easily. I don't really watch Sam Seder, so I can't really comment. But I don't consider him to be a capital P progressive most of the time. But what is amazing about this is you have Chuck Schumer. He says, coming out of a meeting, earlier today I said Republicans are divided. I want to amend that. Republicans are in complete disarray, totally incompetent, totally in disarray, totally at war with one another. You know, the amazing part about this, and you know, I always tell you, Nancy Pelosi, she drove the getaway car. As Trump and McConnell robbed the Treasury in the first coronavirus bill, $4 to $6 trillion, give or take, going to corporations that did not need the money, that are firing their workers, even though technically the strings attached meant they were not to fire their workers. Go ask Boeing. They're laying off their workers this fall. They've already announced it. After getting trillions of dollars in free money that they did not need. That's when Pelosi, Schumer, the Democrats had the leverage. And they just went along with this bank robbery. The Democrats were united. Schumer says the Republicans are a mess and divided. The Democrats were united in allowing Trump and McConnell to give a $1 trillion, essentially free money to corporate America, while essentially setting an expiration date for the unemployment benefits when no one had a clue how long this was going to be. No one had a clue how long this pandemic was going to be. And they set this for expiration knowing, well, if they didn't know, they're morons, that they would have zero leverage at this point. So what's going to happen? What always happens. Pelosi, Schumer, MSNBC, the think tanks, all of the usual suspects who defend this incompetence and, frankly, corruption, are going to say, what can we do? Trump has the White House. McConnell has the Senate. They can say, we can't do anything. You agreed to the first shit sandwich. You did not get in front of cameras like I've been saying to do for the last 3 weeks, sounding the alarm that this is about to expire. Nobody else did that. You did that. And by the way, Vicky Blair, $40 in the super chat. Woohoo! Thank you. Jordan, what are your thoughts about Democrats raising concerns that Russia is targeting Biden campaign? Will they ever drop the Russia BS? My thoughts? Bullshit. Some people might not agree with me, but you know what I think about Russiagate. The day that Third Strike, what the hell was that group called? CrowdStrike went in front of Congress, behind closed doors, mind you, saying, we don't have conclusive evidence that Russia hacked the DNC. It was done for me. I mean, it was done for me before that. Between Rachel Maddow concocting that Russia was going to close down, America's, what did she say? Russia's going to freeze America to death during the polar vortex? I think if you want to talk about hacking and threats, you should be looking at China. Oh, I sound like Trump. China. You should be looking a little closer at China, frankly, right now. But thank you for the $40. Really appreciate it. And I will say, these super chats really, really make a difference. We have been hurt as far as membership. We have lost quite a lot of members. Hint, hint, sign up. Got the members call Thursday with Jen and I. Looking forward to that. You could become a member for as low as a cup of coffee a month, $5 a month. So, all this, the bottom line is we're going to be told that the Republicans are awful. They're cutting this unemployment when Americans need it most. But it's all theater, because the Democrats knowingly went along with this when they did not have to. They had the leverage. The Republicans didn't have the leverage. The Democrats had the leverage. So if you're sitting there with your $600 a month, $600 a week, and it's getting cut down to, if you're lucky, $300 a week, plus the $1,200 check, well, what happens next? Do we anticipate the job market is suddenly going to come back, as we still have a hodgepodge of state-by-state criteria and protocols? We don't have one national uniform, lock down the whole country for 3 weeks, which I've been saying for months. Civil libertarians get up my behind about it, but c'est la vie. That's what we should have done, and that's what we should do now. So the job market's not going to be exploding back, and from the sounds of it, we're looking at another 2 to 3 month extension. And keep pressing that like button. We got 308 people watching right now. 213 have pressed that like button. We need another 100 of you. Please, please, please. Press that like button. Makes a huge, huge difference. More people that press like, YouTube's algorithm shows this to more people. Lunasphere, $1.99. Did you and Michael Brooks ever collaborate together? No, I said at the beginning of the live stream, I just never, I met him once, but we didn't collaborate. We didn't know each other. But from everything I'm seeing, he seems like he was an outstanding person. So it's just a really, really tragic, terrible thing. Really, really tragic. I wish I knew him better, but just not somebody I knew or had a relationship with. Brian Frederick, $1.99. Democrats will cave on corporate liability. Of course they're going to cave on corporate liability. Again, throw your hands up. It gives them cover. they're going to say, what can we do? This is why we need Joe Biden. We need to retake the Senate. We need to retake the House. Well, we have the House. Retake the Supreme Court. And guess what? You're going to get a mildly better tasting shit sandwich then. The other aspect of this, which Dave Dayen at the American Prospectus pointed out, but it's a real clusterfuck. If you were lucky enough to be eligible for the $600 a week unemployment, a lot of people didn't get it right away. A lot of people, it took weeks and weeks and weeks to get it. I've been scouring Reddit, seeing people talking about sharing their horror stories where they were literally calling their state unemployment offices for hours and hours and days and days. Meanwhile, Jeff, while they were doing this guy was marching closer and closer to becoming a trillionaire. We'll talk about that a little bit later. So, these state unemployment offices are not equipped for just this mad dash of people calling in for unemployment. They have antiquated tech, antiquated computer software, and antiquated systems. Most of them do not have enough staff. When I interviewed somebody in Arizona who's unemployed, she says they had to hire an extra 200 people because of this. So, if with the $600 extra a week, they were having problems getting out that unemployment insurance in time, how are you going to handle it when you have different levels and a gap? So they're not going to make a deal by Saturday, which is the deadline. July 26th is when this expires. So you're going to be putting out $600 a week, and then it's going to change to whatever it is, $250 a week, $300 a week. How the hell are these state offices going to figure out how to distribute that at different levels for different weeks? They could barely get out just the one amount. This is not looking good, folks. And as far as I'm seeing, I see nothing from the Republicans talking about it, and I see nothing from the Democratic side talking about the eviction moratorium that is passing basically in a week to 2 weeks, depending on the state. We've seen some governors do the right thing. For example, if you live in Massachusetts, the governor there just extended the moratorium on evictions to October 17th. But the problem is, it gives you a life jacket, but they're not canceling it. You're just delaying the eviction. No one who is unemployed is going to be able to pay back all of this money. You're talking in these cities, in these states, if you're lucky, you're paying in the low hundreds for rent, but most people pay a lot more than that. None of these programs that I see, the Republicans aren't talking about it and the Democrats aren't talking about it. What are they going to be doing about the money that people are going to owe? What are they going to be doing about the people that are being sent to housing courts now? So, I wish I had better news, but I fully expect the Democrats to cave on almost all of this. Trump might, just for political posturing, he might push the Republicans to cut the unemployment by less. Today, we haven't heard much. After Mnuchin left that meeting, reports said he was not talking in the meeting with Pelosi, Schumer, and McConnell was not talking about the payroll tax cut, which was really a deferment. So we shall see. But it is not looking good in my view, particularly for people that are literally hanging on the cliff. Again, 5 days. And how much longer is this going to take? Are they going to agree to this in the first week of August? The second week of August? As people stop getting their unemployment checks? Most people cannot go without 1 week of that unemployment, expanded unemployment. You tell me. Should I be more optimistic? Or am I just the right level of cynicism? D. Lawrence, $5. Please cover Greens. Hawkins has allegations of working for the Dems, using tricks, hired co-chair to manage his campaign, omitted others from the ballot. I mean, I don't know what more I could do. I've emailed Howie Hawkins people 3 times. They haven't gotten back to me. So either I don't have the right email, it didn't bounce back, or they don't have their you know what together. I'll try one last time. Let me see. And on the, just so you know, before we move on the stimulus part of this, on the $1,200 check, McConnell has publicly said he supports it. 2 senior GOP senators suggest it should be $1,200 again, and Mnuchin has said it. So, again, this is the ultimate lesser of two evils. If you are unemployed, if you are desperate, you have no choice but to accept the crumbs. But I think this is all problematic because we're just going to do this again in 3 months. And frankly, I don't think the cases are going to be dramatically lower in 3 months. I don't think the unemployment picture is going to be much different. I don't think the job market is going to be much different. And I don't see Republicans doing much of anything just weeks before an election. I don't see it. So, moving on. The Bernie Biden Commission, those wonderful suggestions came out a few weeks ago, so not news there. The commission, if you want to be a naive optimist, had some decent proposals, I guess, for climate change. Criminal justice was a mess. The economic proposals I thought were a joke. I thought most of it was a joke. But really, we have to look at what did the people who run the country think? Because we are living in the United Corporations of America, as you know. We know that the media didn't take it seriously, but did Wall Street take it seriously? So I came across this. Thank you for the super chat. Swirly Swirl, $5. I found the larger logo flag for $25. I think it's slightly different than the one you have. Swirly Swirl, all I could say, I will not tell you not to buy the flag, but I will not promote the flag. Because I reached out to the company who makes this flag. I thought I was very respectful. I thought I was very professional. I said, hey, I know you're getting a lot more sales because we're being asked for the link 24/7. How people could buy this flag. How about a little share? I'm not asking for 50-50, but how about a little, little something back to status quo? I don't think that's a lot to ask since we're bringing you business. And they very, very kindly told me to go fuck myself. So, I like what the flag stands for, meaning the United Corporations of America. But this company, I didn't think it was such an unreasonable ask to be like, hey, we're bringing you all this business because I have a flag behind me. Maybe you could throw us a couple bucks because we have to grow. You know? Eventually I'm getting married. Gonna have some babies. Move to the suburbs. I need to make more. I'm just keeping it real. We need to make more at Status Quo. So, but if you got the bigger version, great. So I came across this, and keep those super chats coming. I really, really appreciate it. Reminder, we have our members call coming up, so you could sign up as a member anytime, $5 a month. Please, please, please join the media revolution. Despite expectations that a collaboration between former Vice President Biden and Bernie Sanders would drag Mr. Biden sharply left, the actual document produced by the Biden-Sanders Unity Task Force fell flat for leftist hopes, New York investment bank Keefe, Bruyette & Woods said Monday. And they're a pretty well-known Wall Street investment firm here in New York. The Biden-Sanders Task Force recommendations were light on specifics and, quote, positive for what they didn't say from the point of view of the powerful U.S. financial industry. A team of Keefe, Bruyette & Woods analysts headed by Washington-based Brian Gardner told clients of the investment bank in a report. So just think about that for a second. Think about how corrupt this country is. Again, the United Corporations of America. You have this show commission. You know, I'm not getting into Bernie. Everybody has the different views on whether Bernie dropped out too early, whether he should have done those hostage videos with Biden and all that. Yes, members call Thursday, 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific. Become a member. Patrons are included in that too.
Did you forget to post the members video for patrons?
I'm doing it. Relax. Thank you for the super chat, Gina Gal, $20. To the future groom and father, Jordan. Oh, don't start the rumors. No baby yet, but I'm hoping soon. So, you have this show commission. Wall Street's looking at it to see, hey, should I give Biden any more money? Should we throw in these max checks for the Biden's campaign committee? For Biden's super PACs? You know, how much are we going to give these communists with Bernie? That's what Wall Street's saying. Then they saw the commission. They saw that it was laughable. Biden won't legalize marijuana. Biden won't go any further on health care. Biden will not get rid of the immunity shield for police officers. Thank you for the super chat, Gino Fast, $19.99. And we're back. Cuckoo Kachoo. What's the status of the coup in Michigan? What's the status of the coup in Michigan? Well, I'm home in New York right now, but we're always staying on Flint. And I'm still working on the Flint water crisis behind the scenes, so stay tuned for updates on that. But basically, you have Wall Street firms giving reports to their clients, which, by the way, their clients pay a lot of money for these forecasts. That's what they call them. Basically saying, oh, you got nothing to worry. We're going to get rid of the nuisance, which is Trump. Trump's not a threat to Wall Street. He's been great for Wall Street. So we'll get rid of the noise. And, you know, you don't have anything to worry. We're safe with Biden. Don't just listen to this new report that this Wall Street firm put out. Listen to what Biden told corporate donors just the other night. I reported this yesterday at a virtual fundraiser with the chief operating officer, hosted by the chief operating officer of Blackstone. He said, quote, corporate America has to change its ways. It's not going to require legislation. I'm not proposing any. We've got to think about how we deal people back in. Well, so essentially, guys, you're on the honor system. Behave. I'm not going to really do anything to enforce you to behave. There's no legislation coming, but, you know, what did Hillary say? Cut it out. Honor system. And this is where I find it just hard as a journalist, as a member of the Twitterazzi. You know, you're supposed to only bash Trump. You're supposed to say it doesn't matter how corrupt his opponent is. It doesn't matter how much of an empty vessel his opponent is. We got to get rid of Trump. We'll fix Biden after that. We'll move him left after we get rid of Trump. You're moving this guy left? Are you kidding me? First he told them nothing will fundamentally change. Now he's telling them, I'm not proposing any legislation to rein you in or anything. Don't worry about it. But you can't make this up. Shirley Swirl, $5. The wall of moms and the dads standing behind them is so inspiring. Go Mom Tifa. Yes, by the way, I am trying to find a freelance journalist in Portland. I am trying to find a freelancer in Portland so we could bring you stuff live. It's just been not easy to find someone because they're in high demand right now. But we are trying to find somebody. Which, by the way, we do pay our freelance journalists from around the country. That's why we need to keep growing. Statuscoup.com/join. So, what else did this report written by Wall Street say? The Biden-Sanders Unity Report, named after the presumptive Democratic presidential candidate and his one-time rival, was mum about forcing private equity billionaires to pay the same tax rates that other people's pay. Oh no, we don't need that. It includes no fiduciary rule requiring financial advisors to serve clients instead of themselves. Oh, America, where you pay financial investors to not guarantee they're actually looking out for your best interests. No problem there. But the real part about this, quote, but it did not propose breaking up the big banks or even making them hold more capital, Gardner noted. So this is the Wall Street investment firm that wrote the report for its clients. So basically they're saying, too big to fail? Still a thing. Biden coming in, we could go back to the good old days, baby. Not that we ever left. I mean, Wall Street still did whatever they wanted under Obama. Trump, continuation. But with Biden, the banks, you're okay. Don't worry about whatever progressive lip service he's putting out there. Don't worry about that. He ain't breaking anything. He's not breaking anybody up. The center-left Unity Group, Though the report was vague on the point, Gardner expects that President Biden will unwrap Trump's restrictions from the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau and appoint an ally of its founding advocate, U.S. Senator Elizabeth Warren, to sue and pressure student loan servicers, mortgage servicers, credit card companies, payday lenders, installment lenders, debt collectors, and credit reporting agencies to cut fees and hassle for hard-pressed borrowers at the expense of the company's owners. So basically they're saying that he might appoint Warren to run the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, and what we'll get of that is a hodgepodge of lawsuits that would probably be stuck in court for the 2 to 3 years Biden remains president. So that's really the relief we're talking about. I'm not trying to be a Debbie Downer. I would give Biden credit if he was actually proposing things I actually felt would be followed through on. But this is essentially talking about Biden empowering Warren to sue student loan servicers, mortgage servicers, credit card companies, payday lenders, installment lenders, debt collectors, and credit reporting agencies. Not exactly a guarantee of mass relief for people buried by student loans, mortgages, credit card companies, by the way, which you're buried because of the bankruptcy bill, which Joe Biden pushed and wrote. But the group had nothing to say about Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac. If you studied your 2008 financial crash, they were the real catalyst for the crash. The government subsidized mortgage finance giants that are the subject of much heat and little light in reform proposals by bankers and bank critics alike. In short, KBW concluded the Biden's campaign message on housing policy is muddled. All this is more than Democrat wishful thinking because Biden is way ahead in the early polls, but he could still blow the election, Gardner wrote, if his further left allies scare middle American voters into worrying about government takeovers or a breakdown of public order. Again, this is a report written by a Wall Street investment bank. What about a Democratic Congress? That could, quote, could make it easier to raise corporate taxes or impose a financial transaction tax. But Gardner said Democrats will need help getting that through the Senate, where some members of both parties are close to the banks, as Biden was in his Senate days. I mean, I'm not going to read any more, but I wanted to show you this because, see, you really get the idea. Nothing will fundamentally change. So, what will fundamentally change is Trump will be gone under President Biden. I don't know how much gone. I think Trump will still be very much a part of life in whatever he does in his second act. Thank you, Gino Fast, $49.99. I love you, Gino. I'm just here for the attention. Ha! Nah, I'm a future wannabe Straits of Mackinac Line 5 independent media journalist right here. Enbridge, pipelines under Great Lakes, not cool. Yes, I know Enbridge and Line 5 have been a major story in Michigan. That's a good reminder. I'll look into what the latest with that is. I thought that was shut down, but these pipelines have 2, 3, 4, 20, 30, 50 lives. So I'll look after the live stream. I'll look into that. I'll try to cover it for you, Gino. Thank you so much for the super chats. I really appreciate it. Did I miss one? Sirius 1976, $5. Progressive and I won't settle for less. We have the power. Oh, I like that. So really, at the end of the day, you're being gaslit. You're being gaslit. Essentially, shut your mouth. If you're on Twitter, don't say anything bad about Joe Biden. Ignore the corruption. Ignore the fact that you're essentially getting a really shitty bowl mixed with Obama, Bill Clinton, Hillary Clinton, and some Republicans to boot. And when no action comes quickly, when the progressive proposals Biden put forward during the campaign suddenly don't material in 100 days, in 6 months, the answer? It's going to take a while. We still have to unpack the damage that President Trump did domestically and around the world. This kind of damage won't take. You can't undo in 100 days, in 6 months. Dimitri OG, $4.99. Our choices are death by stabbing or gun down this election. Slowly bleed out or die instantly. I think that analogy is pretty close. I think Biden would be better on the environment, no question. He's not an environmentalist, but Trump has done a number on the environment, way beyond what Hillary Clinton would have done. I'm just being honest. Militarily, I think it's kind of even. Biden has been a foreign policy hawk his whole career. Trump hasn't launched any new wars, but he's just maintained the wars now. Economically, again, you'll get some positive crumbs. Corporate tax rate will go up. But he ain't raising taxes on anyone under $400,000 a year. Yeah, like $400,000 a year is suddenly the marker for the middle class of America. So that is throwing bones, if you're Biden, to your new suburban wine moms and dads who make between $250,000 and $400,000 a year. So there will be positive incremental change if you get a President Biden. But the incremental change, how much longer could the proletariat and the working class survive on this incremental crumbs? How much longer? That's the chart. Productivity through the roof. Hourly compensation all but flat. And my fear is, I don't think progressives are going back to sleep. I think we have awoken a beast in the progressive movement. We're not going back to sleep. But these resistance people, oh, they're, outraged that Trump has deployed federal troops in Portland. They should be. Absolutely correct. It's fascism, straight up. Annette Worley, $14.99. Love you. Tiffany J. Kim, $9.99. Since the bars are closed and I can't share around with friends, here's some cash for the cause. I love your commentary. Thanks for keeping it real. Thank you so much, Tiffany. Happy to take your bar money. Really makes a difference. Thank you. I_Hackintosh, $4.99. Thanks for the hard work you all do. I don't know you do this. I feel exhausted by 16 years of this fight against the corrupt, disgusting system. I get exhausted too, but luckily I have a wonderful mate to keep me energized. And as, her and I were speaking about things last night, this is my purpose. This is what brings me joy. This is what brings me passion. And this is what brings me purpose. Not just the commentary, but to really, as best as I can, give a voice to communities that will never get a voice in the corporate media, individuals that will never get a voice in the corporate media, causes that will never get a voice in the corporate media, injustices that will never get a voice in the corporate media. Frankly, these days, not even in a lot of other independent media. So this is what keeps me sane and happy. But it's hard work. This is all hard work. And we have a lot of obstacles others do not have. We've been suppressed by YouTube like no other channel that I know. And, we were really humming. This number was close to 2,000 5 months ago. And we've lost a lot of members because of COVID. We get it. It is what it is. But we're hoping to start moving that number back up. So if you like what you're seeing, sign up. Statuscoup.com/join. Become a member for $5 a month. We got our monthly members call Thursday, 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific. You'll get a link if you are a member. Chester, I gotcha. $5. This mortgage and renter crisis is going to bring Hoovervilles full to bear. Why is so little attention on this looming crisis? Why? Because they don't give a shit. Mitch McConnell has his 10-inch neck and his $20 million net worth. Nancy Pelosi has all the gourmet ice cream and wine in her vineyard that she could ever ask for. Chuck Schumer's doing well. Trump is Trump. They don't understand the plight of the working class of America. And frankly, they are dinosaurs. And when you deal with corrupt dinosaurs, you can't rewire corrupt dinosaurs. You could only get rid of them. Ricky Perez Jr., $10. If you have taken 50 steps back, Trump, 25 steps forward, Biden is not incremental progress. It's a net incremental regress like the last 50 years. Ricky Perez, why you got to make me do math like that? I got to do 50 forward, 25 back. Then you're talking net incremental? Dude, I failed math in 11th grade. I had to take the test back, retake the test in summer school. I might have cheated on the test. I'm just being honest. I passed. But yes, this is all a net regress because the bottom line is Jordan, sorry to talk about myself in the third person, will be sitting here in 20 years having the same exact conversation about the fascists that we just have to get rid of, and we got to eat our broccoli and accept this terrible Democratic choice if we don't curb this cycle of lesser of two evils bullshit. And a lot of it starts with independent media. I mean, we were talking about the sad passing of Michael Brooks earlier. Independent media needs to do something to coordinate and become stronger so that we don't have to continually accept these choices. They have all the money in the world right now to send you $2,000 to $3,000 a month. They have that money to send that to you until this pandemic is gone. Not as unemployment insurance, but just as a direct UBI, refundable every month. They got it, and they choose not to do it because they don't want to do anything that progressive, anything that humanitarian, anything that effective. Because if they open the floodgates even just a little bit, they do not want you getting used to nice things. When I say they, I am talking about the United Corporations of America. Always love Colin Tooley's work. Great graphic. NS Starks 007, $10 in the super chat. Obviously, RIP to Brother Brooks. Not gonna lie, I worry about you being there. You are young, impressive cult of personality, and I'm proud to be a part of the growth of Status Quo. Lead with empathy. What are you worried about me being where?
They worry about you full time, so no one else has to.
Anat worries about me full time, and a little too much, to be frank.
No!
Listen, you know what? I don't know what happened with Michael. Obviously, he was young.
Someone said he had a blood clot in his throat.
Yeah, I mean, freak things could happen to any of us. I mean, whether you're progressive, conservative, neoliberalism, or just a batshit crazy Alex Jones. So we can't live our lives in fear. We got to do what we can to take care of ourselves. But, crazy things can happen. And I have read if you have had COVID, you are at greater risk of blood clots. I don't know if you had COVID, but in general, you're at a greater risk of blood clots if you've had COVID. So, it's terrible. And it's cliche, but, we really just need to, this day-to-day war we have to make a better world. That's what this is about. We want to make a better country, a better world. In all of that, in the fights we get on Twitter, and, the fights we get, even on our own side, on the progressive side, we can't forget to take a pause and tell people you love them. Even people you're mad at, tell them you love them. I believe... I believe you have to have empathy for people. And I believe in really trying to lift people that can't lift themselves. So that's, it's just sad. I wish I knew him better. We didn't know each other that well. So, stand for something or fall for anything. So moving on to one last injustice for the day. It's been 130 days. 130 days since Louisville police murdered Breonna Taylor. Just as a reminder, if you didn't see our interview, here's just a clip with her aunt, Bianca Austin. This was me in Louisville a few weeks ago.
We know the truth. We want them. They should have never been there, and evidence will show the world that they should have never came to her house. Breonna wasn't involved in any drugs. She wasn't in a drug ring. She didn't even do drugs. You know what I'm saying? So it don't make sense to us. So we know the truth. We want them to just say, damn, we made a mistake. Like, let's fix this. But no, instead of that, we got to go through the ringer. We got to fight. And that's what we're going to do. We're going to continue to fight. And we're going to continue to fight for long change, not just a Band-Aid change, not just you give us a shiny nickel. We want long change. We want to be able to live. We know black people should be able to be wealthy. We should be able to drive nice cars. We should be able to live in nice houses without people being profiled, without saying, oh, they must be selling drugs. Breonna comes from a hard-working family. We all work hard.
You're also in the
I
medical
work in
field.
healthcare. I deal with COVID patients every day. I watch it. It's real. You know what I mean? So, and, they took this precious life from us. It's so unfortunate. It hurts just to even talk about her in past tense. I get emotional because she should be here. She should be here with us right now.
So that was Breonna's aunt, Bianca, when I was in Louisville. Thanks to you again. It's your membership who's funding these trips. Yeah, we did a fundraiser too, but if we don't grow our membership, we can't do this in the field reporting that, frankly, very few others are doing. So keep signing up. I just put the link in there, statusquo.com/join, $5 a month. If you could afford it, Please. $5 a month. Mike Blair, $5. Read the other $10 super chat you missed. Oh boy. Trying to keep up here. We've had a great day on super chats. Dimitri OG, Jordan is scared to throw a rock. Might hit one of his kids with all the traveling you do. What you talking about, Willis? What rock?
What rock? What kid?
And Starks 007. I read this one. Obviously, RIP to Brother Books. Not gonna lie, I worry about you being there. You are a young, impressive cult of personality, and I'm proud to be part of the growth of Status Quo. Lead with empathy. I agree. Jameson Doan, $5. Wrong regarding Clinton versus Trump on environment. Clinton wanted national fracking infrastructure and would have gotten it. Would have cemented fracking for decades. What the hell do you think Trump's doing? Trump has repealed every single milquetoast, not far enough regulation Obama put in, especially for clean air and water. So I got to disagree with you on that one. He's definitely worse. I mean, Clinton would have not been good for the environment, but you know, we could objectively say one would be worse. I don't know which $10 super chat I missed, Mike Blair. You'll have to let me know. Why are you telling people about my bleeding gums?
Because they were saying that you have to take care of yourself, and I said
Well,
I'm making sure.
I don't have any dental insurance. These bleeding gums are going to cost me $600. No, excuse me, more than that. Do you know? Listen to this bullshit. The dentist says to me there are 4 quadrants. So for this deep cleaning, we would charge you $180 per quadrant. 200, 400, 600, 800. So that's $720 just to deep clean my gums. Then I got a tiny little cavity. I don't have the money for that. Seriously, this is a real problem. I don't have. Well, I have it, but that would be a big dent for me. Sorry to talk about my gum issues. They call him bleeding gums, Jared. Oh boy, here we go. But back to this. So I spoke with Breonna's aunt today. It's been 130 days since she was murdered. I was told today by Breonna Taylor's aunt they have not heard one update from the mayor of Louisville. They have not heard one update from the city council of Louisville. They have not heard one update from the Attorney General of Kentucky, who's taken hold of the case. Not one update from criminal investigators on the progress of this case. 130 days. She was killed in March. We're about to head into August. A difference. What a difference not having a video makes. You're telling me they need months to investigate? Witnesses say they used a battering ram to go get into this house. Witnesses say they did not announce themselves as police. This woman was shot 8 times. New reports come out that she was alive for several minutes, and they did not provide medical care to her. They didn't even have a medical personnel there when they barged in. What are they investigating? Why is this different than George Floyd? These officers were fired and charged within a week to 2 weeks. We know the difference. We saw it on videotape. But you shouldn't need a videotape for this. The only officer that's been fired had a long history of sexual harassment and assault claims. I don't know if a black cop or a black anybody used a battering ram unannounced into a white blonde woman's home, shot her 8 times and killed her, and witnesses said, yeah, they didn't announce themselves. You think it would take 130 days to fire all the officers and press charges if it was a white woman in the suburbs sleeping in bed who were killed? I don't think so. Brian Frederick, $1.99. Has McConnell said anything about Breonna Taylor? What do you think? Of course not. And the aunt told me, Democratic nominee for Kentucky Senate, Amy McGrath, to this day has never reached out to the family of Breonna Taylor. Not even after her victory. Says quite a lot.
You're getting so much great advice on Super Chat.
Trying not to talk about my gums during such a serious topic. But if you do have gum suggestions, email me, info@statuscoup.com. I did just get the water pick for $75
And you're prescribed.
and prescription mouthwash that I have to pick up. Who the hell knows how much that's going to cost? Ugh. So, this inaction is causing activists to act. Ari Maybe planned to indulge in a few treats Sunday afternoon before starting a hunger strike Monday with 3 other protesters at an Airbnb in Louisville. But eating too much the day before you start fasting is a bad idea, she said. She wasn't going to overdo it. Maybe and 3 other demonstrators, Amira Bryant, Vincent Gonzalez, and Tabine Ibershoff, say they plan to stop eating at noon Monday and will remain on a hunger strike until the 3 Louisville Metro police officers who fired their weapons the night of Breonna Taylor's was killed are removed from their position and stripped of their pensions. The 4 were among several speakers Sunday at a Kentucky Alliance Against Political and Racial Repression news conference at the Carl Braden Memorial Center. They made the decision Wednesday that they would abstain from all food, Maybe said, and organizers have been working to make it a reality since then. We've been prepping for a few days now. The clock is ticking, as they say. It's a project that's bigger than 4 people. Medical personnel will be involved to monitor the hunger strikers, and others have been working to secure an Airbnb to serve as the site of protest. And then there's the live stream team, the group that will broadcast the demonstration 24 hours a day on their Facebook page, Hunger Strikers for Breonna. Gonzalez joked that the next step of the protest won't be televised, but it will be live streamed. So if you want to check it out, it's Hunger Strikers for Breonna. It's 4 individuals that are abstaining from all caloric intake, but we have an army of other people helping us fundraising, helping on the back end of things like that. I think altogether we probably have about 35 people involved right now. Those 4 won't eat anything but vitamin supplements and could only drink water, green tea, and black coffee, no cream, no sugar. That's a damn commitment for the cause, if you ask me. Yes, coronavirus is understandably the leading story, and it will be that way for a long time. But Breonna Taylor deserves the exact same thing that George Floyd got, the same outcry Ahmaud Arbery got, frankly, maybe even more, because there is no justice for Breonna Taylor. And the fact that we're not seeing the sustained level of outcry across the media, across government on behalf of Breonna Taylor is why they are slow walking this thing, because there is zero pressure on them. Breonna's boyfriend admitted in an interview that he shot first at the police. So what? The police barged into their apartment in the middle of the night without announcing themselves with a battering ram. He didn't know that. He didn't know they were police. What happened to "Don't Tread on Me" conservatism? He had a right to shoot at who barged into his apartment unannounced in the middle of the night. Gino Fast, $24.99. Think we are going to get new COVID cookie money? Status Quo needs more indirect federal dollars contribution. You think Status Quo has gotten any federal dollar contribution? Please. To be clear, we got no federal money. $0 from the federal government. You could Google it, look it up. But we appreciate your continued support, Gino. So I will keep you updated. I will continue to stay in touch with the family of Breonna Taylor. When the situation is a little better, I might even go back there, because this story needs to stay out there. The fact that a 26-year-old woman was murdered in bed and nothing has been done about it months later is outrageous. Absolutely outrageous. Gene Shahid, 1999. Is it time to move from Patreon to membership? It's a good question. Jen and I have always said, if you're a patron, you could stay a patron. Patrons get the same exact behind-the-scenes content as members get, but our preference for the people who are nothing and are just signing up is to sign up as a member, because the truth is, for all we know, Patreon could be out of business in 2 years. So what do you do then? If all of your subscribers are on a third-party website. So that's why we want to build to our own website and our own subscriber processor. But, it's up to you. If you're a patron, you could move over to membership, whatever you prefer. But there's no rush to move over if you're a patron, because you get the same content. But we do want people who sign up for the first time to sign up as members for that exact reason. Patreon, it's just not smart to have all of your business on a third-party platform that, if it goes belly up, you're kind of screwed. Oh, I personally got a $1,200 check. The company did not. But I did. So really appreciate, these super chats today have been incredible. I hope that answered your question, Gene. You could definitely move over to membership if you want. It is theoretically easier to just have everything in one place, but I don't want Patreons to cancel and then do nothing. If you're going to cancel your Patreon, do it to become a member, if that makes sense. So one last reminder, I'll remind you tomorrow too, but we are having the members call. Thursday, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time, 4:30 Pacific. It will be Jen and I. Jen will be back. She is really appreciative of all the emails that have been sent, wishing her well. And she will be back for the members call. So sign up as a member before Thursday, and you will get the link to join our Zoom call. It's a lot of fun. Definitely a TMI party. I tell way too much, but we have a good time. Jordan, look up All In on 4. That's what I ended up having to do in the end for dental. It happens for some people. All In on 4. Okay. I will write that down. What else? Well, I'm against guns. Okay. Good night, family. Yay, Jen will be back. Yep. There will be another $3,000 in August. Yeah, you're getting a $3,000 check in August? Tell me how you're getting a $3,000 check. I'd love to know. All right. Thanks as always for watching. I'll be back tomorrow a little bit earlier, probably 4 o'clock Eastern, 1 o'clock Pacific, so I could go on before President Trump speaks. Again, sign up as a member if you can, statuscoup.com/join. Don't forget, sign up for our text list. That's text COUP to 370-370. That's COUP to 370-370. That will get you text messages. So when we go live, you'll get a text, which definitely helps if YouTube doesn't notify you, which unfortunately has been the case more often than not. I will see you guys tomorrow. Peace out.